Hi there, these comments are for Patricia, and I am Professor Buckoff, your English 306 instructor here at California State University, San Bernardino. Okay, I'm going to take a look at your essay in just a minute, but I wanted to deal with this first question. You said, I've searched the school's database in Google Scholar. I can't find anything. I have searches, intimate talk between couples, interactive couples talk. I still can't find anything. How about type in the keywords gender differences in conversation style. Try that. How about this? Meta messages and differing conversation styles. How about men and women's different conversation styles for some keywords using the library database? Those are maybe some keywords you might want to try out. The next thing is I also recommend you go over to the library. The professors of library science are experts on critical information literacy. If you go to the reference desk in the library and talk to one of these professors, they will tell you which databases that you can use that'll work better for what we call sociolinguistics and gender differences in communication styles. They will tell you what specific databases you can use. So a short 10-minute chat, you'll be surprised what a short 10-minute chat will bring for you in terms of helping you find sources. And be patient. Remember, finding sources takes time. It may take an hour to find one source. So that's the nature of critical information literacy. You got to work at it. It's not like using your phone and social media. It takes time to find that information. Yeah, hi there. I'm looking at your essay right now, so I'm going to give you some feedback on that. Okay, let's see what we have. So you have the meta messages here. You have meta messages in my life. You have the summary. You have the fairness issue, and then you have agree to an extent. Wow, boy, you got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so let's take a look at the introduction. So my first suggestion here is in the introduction, before you get to meta messages, you should be framing this project in 4 key areas. Defining her idea of meta messages, summarizing the most important points of her article, determining whether or not she's fair and how she treats the two genders, and then deciding to what extent you agree or disagree with her ideas. You need to put those key points in the thesis before you get to part 1. So that's my first suggestion. My goal is to help you get all the possible points on this. Okay, so then you move to meta messages here. Okay, we have that. So it looks like this is okay. Meta messages in my life, I would not use this. The purpose of part 1 is to define meta messages from Tannen's point of view using a formal and informal tone. So there's really no need for this particular paragraph. I would just throw it out. Okay, let's go to summary. Okay, my recommendation here with the summary is you have maybe a short, maybe 50-word paragraph before you get to the body paragraphs of the summary. And simply in that first paragraph, you mention Tannen, you mention her article, you can maybe qualify her a little bit, and then you can talk about her thesis, right? Which means you probably need to break it up right here. And then each of these body paragraphs focuses on one key idea of our article. So you'll probably have 3 or 4 paragraphs in your summary. So make sure that each paragraph in the summary, it restates one of the points mentioned in your thesis. So the thesis in the first paragraph needs to organize her article into maybe 3 or 4 points. And that would help you create a more coherent organization to your summary. All right, let's take a look at fairness or not. She seemed to try to aim for neutrality. She talked about both genders, but the focus was always more on one gender than the other. She seems to be demeaning to women. Okay, so then we have to prove this idea, right? Okay, so when you use this idea, this quote here, right? Let's see, the majority of the text follows similar format. Okay, so what you have to do now is instead of just saying this, you have to show how this is criticizing women. So what about this is negative toward women? You have to do some analysis of this quote, right? That would be important. Let's go to another paragraph. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we have here. So you have dramatize. Maybe include a little bit more of this quote here. And this is important because it's helping to illustrate your idea, right? She asserts the kind of talk learned as females growing up when they enter, they're expecting the same kind of talk. You want to say Tannen is implying, not inferring. I would say Tannen is implying that women lack a sense of maturity and don't grow up like men. So what you have to do here, again, you have to show how this idea here, they want their partner. So if you want to have a best friend, why is that immature? So you have to kind of explain that idea there. Okay, let's look at your next one here. Let's see. Yeah, I would be careful about it when you get to agree to a certain extent. Again, you might start off with a leading sentence that can help frame part 4. You might say, well, based on my personal experience, the experience of my peers and 3 scholarly experts, I fully agree with Tannen about men and women's talk based on my experience in my 5-year relationship. Okay, I think this is good. So that would be my one recommendation is to just have a leading sentence here that can frame the 3 parts of the project in part 4. Then you can move paragraph by paragraph to each part of those projects. Let's look at your data here. Okay, this is good. I'm looking at the empirical evaluations. Okay, in your survey. Okay, this is good. It looks like you have a pretty good explanation of your respondents and how they responded and what they did there. So it looks like you are doing a pretty good job with that. Okay, so that's good. And then the only thing you have to do now is once you're done discussing your survey results, then you move to the last part of the project, which is to explain the scholarly experts and to show, and that's where you're kind of stuck right now, right? So remember, the librarians are experts in critical information literacy. So when you go over to talk to one of those librarians, they will give you some good tips on what databases will work better for your research paper. All right, so I hope that my comments are kind of helping you put things in the right direction. All right, thank you.